I have made no secret of the fact that I am profoundly disappointed in Democratic leadership in the House and the Senate, Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. I have called them weak and feckless. I have said that they sit on their hands. They lean into tactics that are 30 years out of date. That Hakeem Jeffries seems more interested in promoting his book tour than in saving America from fascism. Meanwhile, we see Democratic attorneys general around the nation who are aggressively defending democracy, filing lawsuit after lawsuit, showing up for the people. We have seen octogenarian Bernie Sanders once again showing that he is on the side of the people, going to red districts with his End the Oligarchy tour, making sure that he is vocally outspoken against what the Trump regime and Elon Musk are doing, against their illegal actions, against the coup that they are engaging in, attempting to dismantle American democracy. We're seeing younger members of Congress, including my freshman Congresswoman Maxine Dexter, but also Rep. Stansbury, Rep. Crockett, Rep. Garcia, Rep. Frost. Like, we're seeing so many folks in Congress who want to do more, and they're frustrated at their leadership, acting like this is a time for decorum and deference, acting like they are constrained by procedures, by tradition. Yesterday, Jamel Bouie, who's one of my favorite journalists, said that Schumer and Jeffries are planning on attending Trump's speech. It's not really a State of the Union, but State of the Union tomorrow. That they're going to bring some fired federal workers or some Ukrainian Americans with them to sit in the audience. Are you fucking kidding me? No, absolutely not. I have been saying for weeks that we need members of the House and Senate from the Democratic Party to stand up against fascism. We do not sit and listen to and validate and give credence to a fascist dictator. Why on earth would any Democrat sit and listen to that? And Hakeem Jeffries said, oh, well, this is our house too. Okay, well, Musk and Trump are defiling your house. You need to walk out. You need to be in the audience. When Trump takes the stage, you stand up as a united front of congressmen and congresswomen and senators. You need to turn your back, give that man your back, give that man and his fragile ego your backs. You walk out, you have a press conference on the steps. You are surrounded by fired federal workers. You have the press there. You make a spectacle of it. This is the time for dramatics. You make a spectacle of walking out. Make sure it's on the live feed. You make a spectacle on the steps. You talk about the plight of the American people, how this regime is destroying the fabric of American society, how it is going to be killing Americans. We are going to suffer. People are being put out of work. We are being sent into a recession. This is bad for every working class person in America. You do not sit there on your hands and politely listen to a fascist while he praises himself and Russia for the work of destroying the great American experiment, for destroying our democracy. By the way, if you have not called Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer yet today, or your Democratic reps and senators, please call the switchboard now and give them an earful about how they need to do a walkout. Okay, now that I'm all completely amped up, I'm going to read this great comment because I think it's absolutely correct. It's not decorum when it's basically treated like procedural bottlenecks. I work in compliance and you'd be surprised. I have to remind folks that we set the rules we follow. Absolutely. Absolutely. Once again, the topics that I discuss converge because I talk about parenting a lot. And I have always tried to communicate to my children that we should be questioning institutions. We should be questioning whether rules are working for us. I have a lot of videos about how I don't believe in the concept of obedience, and I have taught my children that they should not obligatorily obey someone just because they're put in authority. And they should not obligatorily obey rules just because those rules exist. If the rules are unjust, then they should not be followed. But even more than that, if the rules, the procedures, the policy are not serving the people, then why do we have them? We were not made to serve rules. The rules were made to facilitate safety, a better quality of life, the functioning of our society for us, the people. We set the rules we follow, especially the leaders in Congress set the rules that we all follow. The excuse of I can't because the rules say I'm not allowed to. If you cannot enact justice, if you cannot defend your liberty because there are procedures in place that are constraining you, then why the fuck do we have those procedures? And why are you considering yourself beholden to them? The rules that we do have, the checks and balances that our forefathers crafted, have utterly failed us, the American people. The social contract is completely obliterated. So why is it our leadership in Congress is acting like, oh, this is just another little bit of political back and forth. This is just more of the same old, same old. We'll fix it in the midterms, right? Why are they behaving like that? I mean, I could say it's because we don't really have an opposition party here in the United States, and that establishment Democrats benefit fantastically from the system that has been in place for decades and decades. But we are no longer living in that system. It is already being completely dismantled and replaced with a fascist state where we are a puppet of Russia. So I flipped my lid yesterday when I saw Jamel's post that Schumer and Jeffries are still considering going and just sitting there and listening, as if that is enough, as if that is the appropriate response to continue to lean back on decorum. Where was Trump and J.D. Vance's decorum in the Oval Office? Where's the decorum of unelected ketamine addict Elon Musk when he stands over the president of the United States and runs a press conference, when he stands over the United States cabinet and runs it, while he stands there in his baseball cap with his Yahtzee fractor font on it? I have said endlessly that politeness is a tool of white supremacy. It is a tool of the patriarchy. It is a tool of fascism used to control us. What is decorum if not this insistence that we fall back on politeness? Your narcissistic boyfriend, your narcissistic mother-in-law, your narcissistic fascist dictator, they all take advantage of politeness, of rules, of etiquette, of decorum, hoping that they can embarrass you into not violating those. Those are systems of control that allow them to maintain power, to seize power and to maintain it, knowing that you won't get up to any good trouble because you have been so indoctrinated from a very early age to comply with social etiquette, to comply with niceness, to lean on decorum. And there is a social cost for being rude, for being aggressive, for being tenacious, but that is absolutely what our electeds need to do right now. I've said it before and I'll say it again, politeness can get fucked. Curtis Yarvin said we, the American people, are too soft and too weak to fight back. We are too whipped. We are too used to complying so that we will not step outside of those bounds of etiquette in order to resist the people who are oppressing us, to resist the technocrats, to resist the fascists, to resist Russia. They are counting on us sitting on our hands and listening to the president's speech as if it is business as usual, while in the back of our minds, we're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, we're screwed. They are counting on us sitting idly by while they dismantle American democracy. And by and large, a lot of folks have been doing it so far, including Democratic leadership in the House. Those days have got to come to a close right now. The other side is not playing by the rules at all. They have completely thrown out the rule book. There is no social contract. It is absolutely obliterated. So we have got to stop acting like it is something that we must adhere to when it is being used to oppress us, when it is being used to strip away our quality of life, when it is being used to inflict suffering, and it will inflict death. People are already dying because of what this regime is doing. Why on earth would we think that rules are more important than human lives? Why on earth would we think rules are more important than the future of our democracy, the stability of the world, the lives of billions of people? Call Jeffries, call Schumer, call your Democratic reps, and spend some time thinking about why it is that you or anybody else is feeling constrained by etiquette, is feeling constrained by policy and procedure. Why deference and decorum are even a thing right now. The institutions have utterly failed us. The rules are being used to oppress us, when they should be creating a high quality of life and safety for every American. What are we even doing playing by the rules of an illegitimate fascist government that is committing a coup? What are we doing?